All the bhajiwalas take 90 rupees from the money lenders at the start of day. With that they purchase all the material, and at the end of day they get 200 rupees, and they have to pay back 100 rupees to that money lender. That is almost 10% daily interest. Isn't it too much? We all have so much of capacity to create the credibility, but since we lack in building that credibility, we failed, and India is now in big economic trouble. And we all just blame the change in mentality of people. Since people do not have purchasing power, there is a break in market. Now, the most highly powered agency in the India, that is government, which gets income from the tax system, lacks in collecting the tax because of less purchasing power in market. When we park the bike in parking stand, we keep something like chain or ring of equal value and earn the credit as backup, so there is no inflation. So when a bank allocate a checkbook to us, they allocate you credit and not the currency. So in our country, every rich would not necessarily be a credible person. He may be a corrupt thief, he may be a person damaging the society. We see some people getting rich within few days, and we also know there stands no credit behind. These people are using the bike which are not parked at parking stands. Now let us see how does government work in all these conditions and what is the role of government. This is the current economic reality of India. Our agro-based economy, which was lateral, has now become a vertical economy. Industrial services, supportive services, manufacturing. This is the vertical main building of our country, showing our national economic reality. There is a water tank at ground level in our building, wherein we have lot of water and is almost full. Then also sufficient water is not available to all taps at all levels. Why? Then we look at the pump which is working fine, but then why the water in the overhead tank is less? Then we look at the pipes carrying the water from bottom tank to upper tank are leaking, and almost major water is leaked out instead being poured in overhead tank. The overhead tank resembles the government revenue with which the government is running, and the pipes carrying water to overhead tanks are the taxes. Now this pipe system has become so complex that it seems to be evolved rather than designed, and hence the leaking water out is black money. Unfortunately, Indian government is trying to fill the lower tank by adding the water from outside through water tankers. This is what we call as FDI, Foreign Direct Investments, SEZ, Special Economic Zones. We assume that when we refill the lower tank, we will have enough water in upper tank. Now here we have given the separate connection to the ground floor as privatization. So those who are remote from ground, they cannot reach lower tank, and there is not enough water in the upper tank. The people who are at ground floor of this building is India, and the above floor is Bharat. The black money is so huge that with this parallel economy, many illegal systems have taken birth. Farmers have to pay huge interest on this black economy. Imagine the interest rate is around 3650 per year. This percent per year. This resembles that we all have to come forward and change the system rather than blaming any person or policy makers. This is why the government is poor, and so the governance. Governance is the system and the politicians are the components. So let us not look at the image of that component, but the functions of that component. Let us view that in correct perspective as like energy. All the systems in the governance work on white money, and all the politicians work on black money, because there is no support of white money to them. Till they win the elections, they cannot get white money, because there is not enough budgetary provision for all leaders. This is how in our country governance is weak and politicians and policy makers are strong. If we map all the aspects of the current socio-eco reality and the challenges for living principled, prosperous and peaceful life, then it results into this picture. This is a cause relationship diagram of the current situation. This explains how lack in fiscal deficit cause an effect on certain sectors like fiscal policy, external borrowings on the credit policy, antisocial industries, disinvestments policies and reduced social spendings, taxation system and high denomination currency, credit cycle and farmer suicide, credit cycle and government revenue, internal borrowings, local industry. And all these effects are then resulting back into further reduction of fiscal deficit. If we all study the cause effect cause and find out where is the technical flaw in the system, it is undoubtedly clear that it is because of flawed taxation system, large denomination notes and less use of banking system, resulting into poor capital formation.